If you are someone who likes to take notes on Emacs, there's a package called org-roam, which you can use to have connected notes. Instead of saving all your notes as org files in a directory, you can have connected nodes inside one directory, so you can easily go through them whenever you want. Besides, org-roam has many features. You can even generate a link graph, something like that. So I'm not going to get into too much of the stuff. I'm just going to show you how to use it, like basically. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a directory called roam stuff. So, and we need to install two packages to use the org-roam graph, and in order for you to use org-roam, you need to have another package installed in your system. So if I pop to eShell meta x, that is alt x and eShell, you can see I'm already in eShell. So let me increase the font size with Control X, Control plus. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install two packages. So sudo, so if you are on Debian or Ubuntu, you can use apt install. So the package name is gcc and graphviz. You have to install these two packages depending on your distribution. So if you are on something like Fedora, you can do a sudo dnf install gcc. If you are on something like OpenSUSE, you can do sudo zipa in gcc. If you are on something like Arch, you can do sudo pacman -S and these two packages. And if you are on something like Void Linux, you can do sudo xbps-install gcc and graphviz. So that will help you install these two packages. So for my system, both of these packages are like already installed. So you need gcc for Emacs to compile SQLite. So SQLite database is used by org-roam to keep track of your nodes. Second thing we need is we need to make a directory. So mkdir and roam stuff. So this is going to be the directory which we are going to create. So the name doesn't matter, you can create anything. So I'm just going to create it in my home directory. You can see I'm in my home directory. So just create the directory. After that, I can exit a shell by Control XK to kill this buffer. And this is like the configuration which you need to add to your init.el. If you are just using init.el, if you are using an org mode configuration, you can add this to your configuration.org or myinit.org, whichever you have like in your system, however you have configured. So if you have followed my videos, you add it to myinit.org. So the first thing is use package. We are going to use the package named org-roam, and the second statement is like we are making sure it's installed, ensure T, that is ensure true, and a custom binding, like we are specifying org-roam to use a directory which is roam stuff. So for that we are using this command org-roam directory space open bracket file-truename, and inside double quotes we are specifying the path to the directory which we have created. So for my case, it's inside my home directory and the directory name is roam stuff. So you can change it accordingly to whatever you have given, and we close that. Now we are specifying a key bind, like few key bindings. So the way you use org-roam is by, you can use alt x and org-roam-node find. You can see the key binding suggestions I'm getting over here. I've changed my file browser, like these settings from Swiper to Vertigo. If you are interested, just let me know in the comments. I will show you how you can do that. So I've specified key bindings for these commands like org-roam-node-find. I have specified a key binding Control-C-N-L. For node-find, I have specified Control-C-N-F. For generating an org-roam graph, I have specified ng, and node insert with Control-C-N-I. So that's pretty much the key bindings I'm using, but if you want, you can go to the website of org-roam and you can find a couple of more configurations if you want to use according to your system. And I'm asking Emacs to auto-sync the database for my org-roam. So org-roam uses SQLite database to keep track of your nodes. Then we are going to use org-roam protocol. So this one is actually interesting because each and every time you open up your org-roam, like Emacs, after you installing org-roam, it's going to give you some warning. So that is kind of like migration warning for people from org-roam version 1 to version 2, something like that. So you can, like, it's an inconvenience to see that every time. So you can remove that by using this command. Then we are using a package called graphviz.mode. Use package graphviz.mode, and we are making sure it's installed. So what this does is this will help us in generating graph for the nodes which we have created. So without wasting much of our time, let's begin doing stuff. So after you add this to your configuration, you save your configuration with Control-X, Control-S. Either you can execute this by hitting Control-X and E. After that, it will compile org-roam, and it will compile graphviz.mode. It will compile SQLite database for you if you have installed GCC. So if you haven't installed GCC, this is going to fail. And if you haven't installed graphviz, you cannot generate a graph. So you have to install them before. So after doing that, either you can execute it with Control-X-E and this will get executed, or you can exit out of your Emacs, and when you open up your Emacs again, it's going to grab the packages from Melpa and compile it for you. For my system, they are already compiled because I don't want you to wait till I compile an SQLite database. It's not going to take too much time, but just for the convenience, I did it earlier. So this is an empty buffer. Like, I'm going to exit out of my Emacs, Control-X, Control-C. Now if I open up Emacs again, I'm going to hit F11 to get full screen. Now if I do a Control-C and F, so that's like I do have some nodes created. Let me delete them first. So if I open up my file browser, you can see I have this directory. So these will be like your nodes. So these are the ones which I have created for this demonstration, but I'm going to delete them and I'm going to start fresh. So if I open up Emacs again, and you can start org-roam by alt-x org-roam-node-find. So we have specified a key binding Control-C and F. Either you can use this command after hitting alt-x, or you can specify the key binding. So we can use Control-C and F. So here in the bottom you can see it's asking us for the node. So currently we don't have any nodes created, so we can create something over here like my nodes and hit enter. So this will open up a capture buffer. So this is a plain Emacs org file, but if you go up and hit tab, you can see it's having some ID over here. So this ID will be used to link your nodes together by means of that SQL database which we have installed or compiled, not us, Emacs compiled. So you can type some nodes over here, like you can see the bullets. My nodes for something like any other Emacs file, you can, like org file, you can do all this stuff. So content goes here. So we write something. After that, if we hit Control C from capture buffer, it's going to be a normal buffer. So if you want to save that, you can do a Control X, Control S. So it's already saved. So if you want to make some, like add some content, you can add them over here, like 1, 2, 3, stuff like that. That's depending on your nodes, you do something like that. Let's do something. So org-roam-node-find to find your nodes. So for that we use a key binding control and C and NF, and similarly we have used another one. So if we need to insert a node over here, we can do by means of Control C and I. So that is that stands for org-roam-node-insert. So here you can insert some node which is existing, or you can create a new node. So you can type something depending on your node or your use case. So this is my second buffer, like second node. Here I can type something. It's plain org file, so it's having a different ID. So you can see like these will be linked by means of this ID. More stuff goes here. More stuff, something like this. And if you hit Control C again, it's going to be a normal buffer. So if you want to navigate back, you can do Control C and F, and you can open which one you have in your system. So we have created nodes. So like you can change anything if you want, and you can add additional nodes. For example, if I need to create another one, let's do something like example of another node. So here if I need to insert another one, all I need to do is Control C and I. So it's going to ask me whether I need to insert some node from this, or whether I need to create another node, new node. So I can type like node 2 or something and hit enter. So it's going to give me another capture buffer. So if I type something over here, and if I do a Control C again, you can see we have a second node over here. Then the next one I wanted to show you is like org-roam node insert. So the key binding is Control C and I. Then you can have like org-roam buffer toggle. So Control C and L. So this will toggle like a new buffer for you, so you can have your content over there if you want. If I hit Control C and L again, it's going to untoggle that. So currently we have like 2 nodes inside this my nodes. So imagine this is like one of your notebooks, and you have like different pages or something, and you have specified some content in this page. So if you hover over, you can see the link, and you have another node in this page, something like that. So if you want to find the relations, it's easy to do that. All you have to do is Control C and G. So this will generate a node graph and it will open up in your browser. So if you have some sort of link to this, it's going to be connected. So I'm just going to open up Control C and F, and I'm just going to open up Note 1, and inside this I'm going to specify a link. So Control C and I to insert a node. I'm going to insert Note 2 inside this, and if I do Control X, Control S, it's going to save the file. And if I do a Control C and G to generate a graph again, you can see Note 1 is having a relation with Note 2. So you can do stuff like that based on your needs. So that's how you pretty much use org-roam. And if you go through the GitHub page of org-roam, you can have you can see like extensive amount of stuff you can do with it. You can use this for organizing your nodes. So basically the idea is you can even use settle cast and method of node taking. So that's really up to you, and you can generate all these graphs for your research purpose if you want, or if you need to go through something suddenly, you can generate a graph and look which one goes where, something like that. So I hope this one was helpful. I hope you all have a wonderful day.